A woman had just divorced her husband when she suddenly discovered that she was pregnant. Ironically, the very child she planned to abort would end up changing the rest of her life. Before the surgery, she fantasized that once she walked out of the operating room, she'd be free again, able to flirt with any handsome young man she wanted. But suddenly, the operating room went dark. As she wondered where the doctors had gone, flashes of her future appeared before her eyes. In that vision, after the abortion, she remarried under her parents' arrangement, only for tragedy to strike. Just a few days later, her parents died in a car accident, and she was abandoned overseas like trash. Once a glamorous socialite, she was reduced to rummaging through garbage bins for food. When she finally found a piece of stale bread, another beggar snatched it from her hands. As she lay dying, she saw her ex-husband, now a successful man. She had divorced him back then because he went bankrupt, but now he had made a triumphant comeback. She overheard him telling reporters that his ex-wife was the person he wanted to thank most on his path to success, because without her cruel decision to leave him, he would never have achieved what he had today. Realizing the mistake she had made, she tried to reach out to him, but the distance between them now felt impossibly vast. When she awoke from this nightmare, she sensed it was more than a dream. If she really divorced him and aborted the child, her life would fall apart. Determined not to repeat that fate, she no longer called the baby in her belly a burden, but her little hope. She ran out of the operating room. She decided to find her ex-husband and remarry him, but discovered he had given her their villa after the divorce and moved into an old, shabby house himself. Feeling guilty and determined to win him back, she dressed up carefully, only to see another woman by his side. Terrified, she hid in the stairwell, mistaking the woman, actually his younger colleague, for his new wife. Thinking about the nightmare she had seen, she refused to let it come true. Summoning her courage, she stepped forward and called out to him. He only gave her a cold look before turning away. The woman, who had once been adored by this man, couldn't believe how cold he'd become. She had hoped he'd give her a chance to reconcile, but instead he told her to leave, that she no longer deserved him. And he was right, she had been the one to heartlessly end their marriage. Now, barely 2 weeks later, she came back begging for forgiveness. Anyone would think she was toying with him. Tears fell as she pleaded sincerely, telling him she was serious this time. But he simply handed her a glove and said, "A lady of your class shouldn't be in a place like this." His words pierced her heart like ice. Even so, for the sake of her late parents, she clung to him, confessing how much she had missed him since the divorce. But the man, whose heart she had once broken, didn't believe her. He thought she was only using marriage as a game, and even in his current downfall, he refused to get back together. Back home, the woman began to reflect. Her ex-husband had remembered every little thing she liked, tolerated all her temper, and she had never even thanked him. Everything he did, she had taken for granted. Now, truly remorseful, she decided to win him back slowly. Her first step was to visit his grandmother in the nursing home. During their marriage, the grandmother had always wanted to meet her,